My stepmother made us sleep in the basement for years because we weren't real family. When our father passed away, my brother inherited the house and made her move to the basement. She lasted 2 weeks before leaving forever. Dad remarried when I was 9 and my brother was 11, bringing his new bride into our childhood home without considering how she'd treat his existing children. The problem started small. Our rooms were redecorated without our input, belongings mysteriously disappeared, and family photos featuring our late mother vanished from walls. Dad was so infatuated he barely noticed, brushing off our concerns as adjustment issues. Within 6 months, our stepmother had completely transformed our warm family home into her personal domain where we felt like unwelcome guests. The basement relocation happened when I was 12. My stepmother claimed she needed our bedrooms for her home business, and her visiting relative, Dad, weakly protested, but ultimately caved as he always did. The basement was unfinished, with concrete floors, exposed pipes, and a persistent musty smell no amount of air freshener could mask. We had 2 secondhand mattresses on metal frames, a small space heater for winter, and a single bathroom with a shower that only ran cold water. For 6 years, we lived like that, while she enjoyed the 4 bedrooms upstairs. My brother and I hung sheets to create some semblance of privacy between our room. When friends asked to come over, we made excuses. When relatives visited, they were told we preferred the basement. My brother developed asthma from the mold, but our stepmother insisted it was just allergies. Dad wasn't entirely blind. Sometimes I'd catch him looking at us with guilt in his eyes, especially when he'd come down to say goodnight and see us huddled under extra blankets in winter. But his backbone had apparently dissolved the day he said, "I do," and her tears always meant more than our suffering. When I turned 18, I left for college and rarely returned. My brother stayed local for school to keep an eye on Dad, whose health had begun to deteriorate. Our stepmother's caretaking consisted mostly of complaining about the burden while hiring the cheapest home health aide she could find. Dad passed 3 years ago. We weren't surprised to learn he'd left the house solely to my brother. Dad had inherited it from his parents, and despite his failings as a father, he must have wanted to keep it in the bloodline. What did surprise us was that he'd left my stepmother a modest sum that would allow her to comfortably relocate, clearly expecting her to move out. She refused. She'd spent 14 years in that house and considered it rightfully hers. Inheritance paperwork be damned. My brother, now a successful engineer with a spine our father never had, gave her an ultimatum. "You can stay here while you look for a new place," he told her calmly. "But I'm moving into the master bedroom, and since I'll be renovating the upstairs, you'll need to stay in the basement for now." We managed for 6 years, my brother said. "I'm sure you'll be fine for a few weeks." She called us monsters. She threatened legal action. She cried to anyone who would listen about her cruel stepchildren. But the house was legally my brother's, and she had no grounds to contest the arrangement. By day 4, she was complaining about backaches from the mattress. By day 7, she developed a cough she swore was from toxic mold. By day 10, she couldn't stand the cold showers anymore and was sneaking upstairs to use the guest bathroom until my brother changed the lock. On day 14, she announced she'd found an apartment and would be leaving immediately.